of dynamite.
My smooth, funkadelic, mellow tips be so mouthpiece of rice, your girl Pearl be like, any nigga that hates, just believe I got that. Yes, sir. I'm so groovy, sue me. I'm so on, boy, you swear you're watching movies. When I spit, boy, it stick like a loogie. Got you stuck like bricks, man, straight into coochie. I like a southern fried ghetto, five big booty. Sweet as apple pie, and she shine like a ruby. With a mind like Rufus, go as I make her lose it. So bona fide, last name Whoop will watch me use it. Yep, bow. It's in my blood, it's in the Solomon King, so who you following? Small steps to a giant, so tell me, baby, who taught it? My tribe walk the pride, baby, you looking like a lioness in the presence of your highness. So come here with your fine ass. So let me put some weight up on your mind. A flower's only good for water that helps it shine. So if your man is a bum out here on the grind, instead of a rose, look like a weed out cross. Yep, coming down so clear, know I'm talking back. Loafers on my feet when I walk it out. Slow down and banging elbows, poking back. What's respect in my name when you talking back? Never trust a smile with chicks with backsides like mouthpiece so righteous, got your girl Pearl like. Any nigga with that hate, just believe I got. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Taza Doc. You know what I'm talking about? Welcome to the first episode of Abstract Society, where we explore the unseen architecture of reality. You know what I'm saying? So tonight we got a crazy lineup for you guys. You understand? But before we hop into it, you know what to do. Go ahead and like, comment, share, and subscribe, and enjoy the vibe. You know what I'm saying? Because we live at 5, no time for jive. If you a righteous truth seeker, hop inside the ride. You know what I'm talking about? All right. So let's go ahead and hop into it. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get into the stream. You know what I'm saying? All right. Let's go ahead and hop into it.
Delroy and I are delighted to be presenting the first Bafta of the night for a vital part of movie making.
We're here to celebrate.
Delroy and I are delighted to be presenting the first Bafta of the night for a vital part of movie making.
We're here to celebrate.
Wait, hold on. So apparently, you know what I'm saying? During the BAFTAs, the film awards, there was some random parishioner that's out in the audience that just yells the N-word conveniently, and then they blamed it on Tourette's. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? That is insane. You know what I'm saying? And then, hold on, let me just play it one more time just to make sure I heard it correctly.
Delroy and I are delighted to be presenting the first Bafta of the night for a vital part of movie making.
We're here to celebrate.
Let me tell you something. We have dealt with so much in this country. Like, it is utterly ridiculous. Like, we're on a profession. Like, it's almost similar to the situation when LeBron James decided, he wanted to make a public stand dealing with, current issues. And then the sportscaster told LeBron James, hey man, we don't pay you for that. Just shut up and dribble. So it doesn't matter what arena you're in, But hey, on to the next one. Let's go. What's this right here? This one right here. Here we go.
What is going on? What is going on right now? What? Hey, yo. Hey, yo. Bro, what is going on? So, okay, so apparently, this is some Muslim men, you understand, having a twerk off on other Muslim men at an exclusive party where they told their women to go on. You know, some this is I mean, this may be, you know, shocking to some of y'all, but I mean, if you really know what's going on in that side of the land, you know, if those brothers, you know, were once bachabazis, you understand? I mean, you seeing a bunch of bachabaziing on each other. I mean, over there, you know, they got Man Love Thursday, you know, because they think that men are for pleasure and women are for procreation. So this is insane, brother. This is nasty work. You understand? You know, and they supposed to be Muslims. You know what I'm saying? What's godly about this? This is crazy. This is utterly insane. Yeah, let me get this off the screen, brother. Good night. All right, let's go. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next one. I guess you know the stuff that y'all been sending in is just you know going from one extreme to the other. Let's see what we got. There we go.
What's happened at the end of the party?
My dad kills babies and he eats the meat.
Okay, well, let's just talk about the party though.
Yeah.
Okay? So, the party, what was the party like?
I don't like the party.
Why not?
They touch me,
Who?
kick me, my front privates, they hurt me. So when they stick a big plaster in my bottom, and when it bleeds, if I cry, he like, do you know those spaghetti spoons? Those metal ones. If I cry, he hits me on the head with it.
Okay.
But if I cry more, he hits me again. But if I cry more, the nurse teacher, I'm smart, and she injects me, and I sleep an injection on my neck, and then I fell asleep straight away.
Then what's happened at the end of the party?
Yo, it's a wild world that we living in currently, man. Like this is what they doing, you know, to the kids. You know what I'm saying? Like for shock and awe to incite terror inside of them, and then you know, according to the file, you know, they unalive them, you know, for whatever reason, you know. Babylon is falling to rise no more. You know what I'm saying? Crazy work. Crazy work. It's just beginning this Epstein file that we about to jump into. Let's ride to the next one.
I'm so sick and tired.
The Epstein Files Part 2. This shit gets crazy, so let's get into it. Now let's jump to the Donald Trump part where the documents say this 13 or 14-year-old girl was allegedly assaulted, was forced to give oral to Donald Trump and bit him, then she was assaulted by Jeffrey Epstein. Now keep in mind that they released this document, then they deleted it. Weird. It's also important to note that this was on the document as well. The complainant was spoken to and was deemed not credible. Additional research shows 3 separate incidences involving police which requested in mandatory psychiatric evaluations. Interesting. Then we move on to Hollywood director Brett Ratner, who was seen with Epstein with a couple of girls. Don't know their ages, but it's also important to note that in 2023, he fled to Israel. And we can't look over the fact that he just directed Melania's new movie that just came out. What kind of move is this? Then we have Jeffrey Epstein getting invited to Mar-a-Lago in 2012 after Christmas, which is way after their falling out with him and Trump. So again, a lot more questions than answers. Now, just a couple days ago, we had a massive crash pertaining to gold and silver. Now, what if I told you this is linked to the Epstein files? Now, this is the CEO of JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon. Yeah, the same guy who under oath said he didn't know Epstein at all. Who is, you guessed it, in the Epstein files as well. It says here in 2012, Jeffrey Epstein was planning a dinner meeting with Jamie Dimon himself. Now, why is this important? That's because JP Morgan is the world's largest holder of physical silver with over 750 million physical ounces. And remember, JP Morgan just a couple years ago paid almost $300 million to the Epstein victims themselves. It's all starting to make sense now, doesn't it? And it's gonna get wild across the board in the financial world because don't know if you guys knew this, that Metropolitan Capital Bank has just failed, marking the first bank to fail in 2026. Buckle up. Then we have Ghislaine Maxwell's bank statements that says Captain Nautica's St. Thomas Boat Rentals. Now, why does this sound familiar? That's because it's the same name as this Disney cruise line, Captain Nautica's snorkeling adventure, which they had to stop in Little St. James, aka Epstein's Island. And here she is hosting something called Happy Family Disney Day back in 1985. And this picture just gives it away even more because the name of her company, Terramar, deals with sea exploration, submarines, and she had a submarine license. So there's that. Now there's a whole lot more I'm going to break down on my YouTube, The Maverick Approach, but let me know what you guys think about all this down below.
Yeah. So, like, if you ever want to know what's going on in the world and when things are about to happen, just pay attention to the price of gold and silver. Gold and silver always goes up or spikes extremely high before some war that's about to happen. So he said that old boy had 750 million ounces of silver. So silver is currently, I believe, at 103. Hold on, let me check JM Bullion real quick. According to JM Bullion, let's see. Silver, oh, it took a dip. It was at 103. It's currently at $87.74, right? So the spike that it dropped from 100, 105, $103 to $87.04. But still, if you own 750 million ounces of silver and an ounce costs $874, you do the math. I keep telling people money is not fiat money. It's in commodities like land, gold, silver, if things that you can physically trade, like goods, like even if you own like a winery, right? If you own livestock, right? If you own oil, gas, right? These things are commodities to be traded, right? Goods, textiles, right? these are commodities. I mean, even precious stones. I mean, I don't deal in stones, but you know, uh, my game is gold and silver, right? That is my savings account. When I bought into silver, it was $17.75 when I bought in 10 years ago, right? And now it's at $87 in a matter of 10 years, and have a nice amount of silver, you know. So, you know, people have different games, you know, real estate, gold, silver, uh, oil and gas, you understand, you know, oil, wine. But if you ever want to know what's going on in the world, just pay attention to the price of gold and silver. It always spikes before some type of conflict happens, right? All right, but let's hop into the next one. You know what I'm saying? My boy Maverick.
They done kill my.
The Epstein files, part 4. You guys, something really weird is going on with these files, so let's get into it. Starting with this, where my last video I showed you guys right here where it says the name Ball was the name of the account, but actually it was a misprint saying that the bank name was Wachovia Bank. And Ian Carroll pointed this out because the actual account name says right here, One Clear Lake Center, and has a bunch of other misspelled words right here and up here where it says $11,438, and that's a misprint right there because it says 110810, right? So case closed. Well, not so fast, because I found this statement, which is pretty much identical. If you pay attention, it says the same thing without the misprints. Please wire $11,438, and you can see right here where it says $11,438. And on the last one where it said Ball name, this one says the correct name, bank name, and then you can even tell it's the same one because it has the same invoice number, 1404. Now, let's assume that these are reprints or duplicates, because here's the wire date, July 27th, and at the bottom it says July 29th, 2009. Just like on this one where it says July 29th as well. Couple questions. Why would you have two of the same documents, one with correct spelling, the other one with misspells, including this one where it's supposed to say bank, but it says Baal or Baal, B-A-A-L, which is related to the deity that they worship for child sacrifice? Is this a false flag breadcrumb, being that this is the only one when you type in BAAL, it shows up, and the other ones are BAA1, which is a bank code that Ian Carroll showed? It's almost like they wanted us to see this version so everybody could run with it.
Pay attention to the codes, bro. Pay attention to the codes. You know, it's a conspiracy if it's just one perspective, one point of view, right? You start seeing multiple vistas in this perspective, you know, then it's something that's plausible, right? You know, I know they tell you things like, you know, 666, you know, you guys are superstitious, you know, you know, the Latin phrase on the back of a dollar bill, you know, you guys are crazy, you know, when it literally says New World Order. And then, you know, Bell, right? And then the bank code literally spells it out. But yeah.
Just like they wanted us to see this document as well by the U.S. Attorney's Office announcing Jeffrey Epstein's death on August 9th. But here's the thing. Jeffrey Epstein died August 10th. So how did they know that he died a full day before? Also, I find it pretty odd that early release marked for August 9th is the same date that the Business Insider posted this article showing unsealed flight logs showing that Trump was on Epstein's private jet in 1997. Weird. You guys, all this does is create reasonable doubt, which typically means no indictments, no arrests, no convictions. Make sure you guys hit up my YouTube, The Maverick Approach, because I'm doing a bigger breakdown on this, but let me know what you guys think about all this down below. The Epstein Files, Part 4.
Shout out to my boy Maverick, man. That boy, I mean, if you're not subscribed to my boy Maverick, Maverick Approach on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Him, Big Homie CC. You understand? Or you know, the Commanding General Yohana. You know what I'm saying? With Black Watch, you just not informed. You know what I'm saying? You have no idea what's going on in the world. You understand? At least from the lens of truth. And that's, you know, what we're here about. You understand? You know, unveiling the architecture of the unseen that's in the world. You understand? The infrastructure, the foundation, the framing, the plumbing. You understand? All of these things, these institutions that they're trying to uh build up upon the backs of the people. So you have to pay attention. You have to pay attention to the signs, right? You know, because, you know, scripture says, my people will perish for lack of knowledge. You understand? So it is what it is. On to the next one. Let's see where we at. Yeah, this one right here.
Was the truth hidden in plain sight with this cartoon? Pay attention. She gets snatched up in a bag, right? She playing around. But the Disney, this is the original version. It's a regular laundromat. Look at the Disney Plus version. What's drawn on the
Pizzagate?
A pizza box. Shout out to Hidden in Plain Sight 17. Pizza box. This is not AI. That's the Disney. There's a lot of little weird jokes on Disney, Nickelodeon, and all of these platforms, and just the whole child actor thing. Was the truth hidden in plain sight with this cartoon?
Like y'all, like, they put it right in front of your face. Right in front of your face. You understand? Matter of fact, hold on. Let me pull this up real quick. Love pizza. Here we go, right here. Just to show
Was this
you.
a coded message? Ellen DeGeneres was hosting this award show with all these celebrities, and then she asked who wants pizza. She then brought it in, gave it to people, and then even Harvey Weinstein, the guy who got arrested for these charges, not back then of course, but then he was told to pay for the pizza.
Because I have this crazy idea that I will order pizza, and so if I do, I don't want it to go to waste. Who will eat pizza if I... Jennifer, yes? Harrison? What do you have, Harvey? 200? This is a start. This is a start.
So do you think this was like the truth in plain sight? Let me know your thoughts below. Was this a coded message? Ellen DeGeneres was hosting this award show with all these celebrities, and then she asked who wants pizza.
Who had the most contact with Jeffrey Epstein during his final decade? At The Economist, we have analyzed 1.4 million of Jeffrey Epstein's emails. We found the 500 figures who appear most often and analyzed their relationships with the sex offender, building a picture of the people in consistent contact with Epstein after he pled guilty to soliciting sex from a minor.
Pizza.
This is a list of some of the most well-known figures that appear in Epstein's emails. David Stern, an aide to Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, Larry Summers, the former U.S. Treasury Secretary, and Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's associate who's been convicted of sex trafficking minors, were all in consistent contact with Epstein. Our data shows that some people were emailing with Epstein hundreds of times a month.
Pay attention to the list.
Like
See that boy Bill Gates right
Krauss
there.
And the banker Ariane de Rothschild.
Pay attention to the list.
To understand just how much Epstein's network reached into almost every area of society, we've also divided the top 500 people by their industry. If you exclude Epstein's emails with his staff and business partners, 19% of messages with his top correspondents were with financiers, like Jess Staley, the former CEO of Barclays. 17% were in academia, like the immunologist Boris Nikolic. There were politicians like Peter Mandelson, Britain's former ambassador to the US, and Ehud Barak, Israel's former prime minister. and people from media and entertainment, including the publicist Peggy Siegel, the journalist Michael Wolff, and the filmmaker Woody Allen. The list also contains at least 18 current or former billionaires, including Peter Thiel and Elon Musk. All of them were in touch with Epstein after his plea admitting to sex offenses in 2008. Most of Epstein's correspondents say they didn't know about the scale of his crimes. In such a vast data dump, the quantity of emails alone doesn't give you the full picture of the nature of their relationships. So we mapped the number of emails sent and received. Ariane de Rothschild sent many more emails to Epstein than she received. Lawrence Krauss and Epstein sent similar numbers of emails to each other. Some people received far more emails than they sent, like Bill Gates, who was bombarded by messages between 2014 and 2016 and replied to relatively few. He was, however, happy to meet Epstein in person on a number of occasions.
I bet he
was.
This
analysis gives you an insight into Epstein's relationships and network after his plea deal. But many emails also detail the ongoing abuse of women and girls. We also used a large language model to score every message on how disturbing it is. And buried among 1 million mundane missives are over 1,000 that are LLM flagged as highly worrisome. Watch our next video for more analysis of Epstein's network.
Like this is what people are dealing with, right? Let's listen to these people say how much they love pizza.
Should we talk about the type of pizza?
Yeah, like at your house. Like I remember all the food. God, remember when your mom didn't order that pizza that one time, and I was so
you had to walk away.
Remember?
You were steaming.
Yeah, I had to walk away.
Should we tell them the story? You want to tell them the story? Or a small
I don't
version.
know.
Well, the story is
I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do anymore. Okay, so we were at a house we had over in Hawaii. We were all like going out on this little adventure in kayaks from my house across this part of the ocean into these other small islands. Sounds really epic, right? And
it was pretty epic.
And my mom was at my house.
And it was 45 minutes there and 45 minutes back.
Exactly. And my mom said for us to call her when we were on the island.
When we get to the island.
Because she's going to order pizza that takes 45 minutes to get back.
So by the time we get back.
So we got there, we have hot pizza.
The pizza is there.
So we paddle all the way back, and literally the only thing that's keeping us going is pizza.
We're all chanting
hot pizza. Hot pizza.
So cold.
And then all of a sudden we get there. We get there, and the pizza has not even been yet ordered.
Oh, yeah. We get there, and I'm like, where's the pizza? And
my mom's like, oh, you want me to order?
Oh, my God.
Where's the pizza? Like, bro, like, listen, if you don't believe me, just look up the FBI's file dealing with code languages for pedophiles, right? You know, how much they love pizza.
Kevin Hart and Seth Meyers played a game, and then this happened.
And then you called me the next morning and you yelled at me like I had tried to kill you.
Yeah. Because you only remember bits and pieces. I don't remember it all. I remember 2 pieces. I remember being on the floor, laying on your chest, and not knowing how I got there. And then I remember another piece. I remember being in the car, and for some reason, all the cheese on the pizza slid off. It was on my stomach, and I just remember holding the pizza, saying, "Hey, why would y'all pay for this? Why would y'all pay for this?"
I'm just, hey, don't shoot the messenger, man. You know, they love pizza. They love pizza.
Just come up and say hi at a party.
We had amazing pizza that night, and
it was great. It was a blast. I mean, there's some good pictures from that night too.
Well, you had this camera. You had a really cool camera. I don't know, it was like something from the 80s.
Push a button, it goes flash.
Yeah, and it's real film.
Then you
and
remember
so
it.
there's a nice photo that I really appreciate you. I don't know how this happened, but at one point we ended up doing a cheerleader pyramid.
That's because.
That's me there.
Yeah, that's because wine.
Yeah, wine was involved. Yes.
That's.
And there's Mike and there's Jack, and then I thought it'd be funny, because we were having fun, and there was other people on the set too, and I was taking your camera, and I just kept taking photos of other things.
Yeah,
which
everybody loves that guy. You know what I mean? Because then you go and you get the candid shots, and then I develop the pictures. Just come up and say hi at a party.
We had amazing pizza that night.
It was great. It was a
They had amazing pizza that night. Amazing pizza. Amazing pizza.
We've known each other for years. Yeah. You've been to my house. We've had pizza. Girl after my own heart. Do we love a pizza or what? We love a pizza. We do. It's so good. So.
Aniston will say to me in the middle of the night whenever I'm with her something cool. She'll be like, "You see?" And I'll be like, "No, you're right. This is great. This is great." She'll text me and say, "I know something. Wednesday night if you want." I'll be like, "Come on, we just did that Saturday thing."
She's busy all the time. I know she's the greatest host.
Parties are incredible at her house too.
Yeah, she does have good parties, and she makes good pizza as well.
She makes great pizza.
Wonderful pizza.
You told a story about going and having pizza at the Clooney's in Lake Como.
Yeah, that's all in Aniston. It's like, George and I would love you to come over for pizza, but...
How was the pizza? Was it good?
Oh,
did he make it himself?
Mom's pizza was better than Clooney's. They both made, everybody made a certain kind of pizza.
There's no pizza we didn't love.
Something that he does.
5 different kinds or 6 different kinds of pizza that night. Clooney's was excellent.
We've known each other for years. Yeah. You've been to my house. We've had pizza. Girl after
Pizza mania. Look up Pizzagate. Just look up Pizzagate.
Even after your dad worked for Domino's for 2 years, you still like Domino's pizza?
Oh, no, I hated pizza. I mean, I hate pizza.
You hate pizza?
I know. Guys, boo! I said it! What? I'm out of here! Okay.
Wow.
Look, just give me a second.
Do you hate babies and puppies, too?
Well, some of them.
What is it that you hate about pizza?
Okay, I'll tell you. I had it every day for a year,
Okay.
possibly more. And I think that anytime it was too much because we were so poor that my dad would make us pizza for dinner. And he tried really hard to get creative, but he can only be so creative. And so my brother came out of it loving pizza, and my mom and I to this day are like, ugh, pizza.
Even after your dad worked for...
Listen. But just look up Pizzagate, man. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm gonna say on that. We've been going over some pretty dark topics. Let's lighten it up with some futuristic technology. You know what I'm saying? Things that that's going on in the world, right? Let's see what they're doing over here in China. You know what I'm saying?
China's not living in 2025. It's chilling in 2050. Let me prove it in just 3 insane examples. First, a fake moon that powers a city. Yep, in Panzhou, China built a 100-meter tall glowing moon made of 5,000 plus LED panels, brighter than the real thing, and it saves over 1 billion kilowatt hours a year. Next, Louis Vuitton just dropped a spaceship, a 30-meter tall floating showroom in Shanghai with luxury rooms, live demos, and local cuisine. Not a store, a destination. This is where retail becomes art. Finally, a sky-high glass platform in Qingdao. The diamond corner juts out from the 81st floor, giving you a full 360-degree view. City, sea, clouds, sunset, all at once. Dizzying? Yes. Worth it? Absolutely. China's not living in 2025. It's chilling in 2050. Let me prove it in just 3 insane examples. First, a fake moon that powers a city. Yep, in Panzhou, China built a 100-meter tall glowing moon made of 5,000 plus LED.
Let's see what else they got going on over here in China. Let's see. What's going on? Here we go.
China just launched this, the world's first flying power station, a helium-filled aerostat housing 1,200 kilowatt turbines capable of harvesting high-altitude winds 2,000 meters above the Sichuan province. Traditional wind turbines stand just 100 to 200 meters tall and operate within the lowest layer of the atmosphere, where wind is slowed and destabilized by friction with the ground, leading to lower average wind speeds and greater turbulence. But at altitudes exceeding
What's going on? Let's back it up. Let's back it up. Let's go. China. 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 Here we go. All right.
What's one of the
China just launched this, the world's first flying power station, a helium-filled aerostat housing 1,200 kilowatt turbines capable of harvesting high-altitude winds 2,000 meters above the Sichuan province. Traditional wind turbines stand just 100 to 200 meters tall and operate within the lowest layer of the atmosphere, where wind is slowed and destabilized by friction with the ground, leading to lower average wind speeds and greater turbulence. But at altitudes exceeding 1,000 meters, wind becomes faster, steadier, and more directionally consistent. On average, in the Yibin Basin, where this project was piloted, wind speeds 2 kilometers up are up to 4 times faster than in the basin, and because wind power scales with the cube of wind speed, that means the same turbines could generate 64 times more power. To make use of this advantage, in January of 2026, China launched the S2000, a 197-foot long, 131-foot diameter, lighter-than-air aircraft. Its aerofoil design forms a duct that compresses and accelerates airflow into the turbine array, maximizing energy capture and giving it a maximum power rating of 3 megawatts. The tether then transmits electricity back to the ground as medium voltage direct current, a choice that minimizes electric efficiency losses typically associated with long distance power transfer. In its operational test flight, the S2000 generated 385 kilowatt hours of electricity, enough to charge around 30 electric vehicles or power an average urban household for an entire month, and making it the world's first airborne power system. For now, this is just a demonstrator, and its ability to provide stable power, operate safely in crowded aerospace, and overall cost of these projects will ultimately determine whether this technology stays afloat. If you like science and finally understand the term cloud infrastructure, follow for more.
Trying to tell y'all, man, like you gotta get out of America, man. You gotta go and travel. You gotta see the world, man. Like you'll see some amazing things out there. China, Japan, Taiwan, they're doing some amazing things with technology, man. They essentially have a helium filled turbine balloon just sitting in the sky where winds are excessively high. You know, the like it said, like the normal wind turbines that they have, it doesn't normally connect enough wind. But this thing is up there. It doesn't need any type of power to stay in the air because it's filled with an element that is lighter than air, which is what they used to use for the blimps back in the day. Where did all the blimps go, man? You used to see Indiana Jones. Back in that time, blimps were everywhere. It was actually one of the number one means of travel. I mean, even when I was a kid, they had the Goodyear blimp. You don't see no blimps anymore. Why is that? I'm just saying. But you have this technology here. It uses helium to put a turbine in the sky, and it's able to generate enough power to power a house. Everything you need in your house. It's amazing technologies out here, man. So pay attention. We got one more we're gonna jump into. You understand? And we're gonna get up out of here. Let's see. Oh yeah, definitely this one right here.
In China, you don't just cross a river normally by...
Have you seen The Line in Saudi Arabia? Well, if you thought that was crazy, then get ready for Tolosa, a $400 billion proposed smart city in the United States. Announced in September 2021 by former Walmart executive and billionaire Mark Lore, he outlined his vision for a 5 million person new city in America. Tolosa will be 150,000 acres with a massive skyscraper at its center. A city where commutes are just 15 minutes, buildings are covered in lush greenery, and gas-powered vehicles are banned. Tolosa will be 100% efficient and sustainable. Sound familiar to The Line? By 2030, the first phase of construction will cover 1,500 acres and house 50,000 residents at an estimated cost of $25 billion. The total project will likely exceed $400 billion, and the city will reach its target population of 5 million within 40 years. Do you think it will be a success? Have you seen The Line in Saudi Arabia?
So the question that you have to ask yourself, it says that it is projected to have a population of 5 million in 40 years, right? Um, Similar like what they're doing with the line out in the Middle East. So if they're trying to put everybody in these structures, what's going on outside of these structures, right? A good documentary that you guys should check out. You probably have to buy it now because they probably pulled it down from most streaming platforms. I think the last place that you can buy it to own is on Amazon Prime. Future by Design. Uh, it is a documentary of this architect Jacques Fresno, uh, who came out with amazing, uh, efficient architectural designs that are very futuristic, and not only futuristic, but they're practical. Um, like you have a home that is a natural defense from a hurricane or a tornado. Um, and it just starts with one question. When you eliminate uh food, working for food, shelter, um, and the essential things in life, like utilities, gas, transportation, what would you do with your time? A better question is, why aren't you doing it? Because the majority of us, we work and we do mediocre tasks, um, because we have to survive. Most of us work dead end jobs or jobs that we hate because essentially we have to survive. But if the base needs of food, shelter, clothing, transportation was provided, I mean, it was, quintessential, bare necessities that everyone had in life. What would you do with your time? Because at that point, time is precious. You wouldn't waste it on doing whatever it is that you're doing now. So the question is why aren't you doing those things? Right? Um, it was a interesting one right after this. I'll play this one and then we'll stop after this one.
In China, you don't just cross a river normally by going across a bridge. You go underwater. Let me show you the coolest way to cross this river.
China's living in the future,
where
man.
We're gonna go right there. First, we're gonna go down these stairs right here. Then walk past this beautiful flower wall, and then down into this tunnel.
This is actually
grab
wild.
a ticket for $8 and head this way. And down even further we go. Thank you. And when you get to the bottom, this is what's waiting for you. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. Look at this.
Underwater subway system.
There are fish up on the walls
like
right there.
Portal. You have to look like you're going through Dungeons of Rats in New York.
I just love how China turns everything into an experience. They're like, we could just build a normal train underwater, or we could do that. So much fun.
Or we could do that.
This is your view and you come
Inspired.
out on the other side. Epic. In China, you don't just cross a river normally by going across a...
I made my mailbox smaller every day till the mail...
So, yeah, man, first episode of Abstract Society, you understand? One takeaway that I give, or a couple takeaways. Watch for the people that, when you're watching your shows and say how much they love pizza, when you see your celebrities talking about how much they love, pizza and the different toppings that they have on pizza, just, pay attention. Next thing you should pay attention for always is the price of gold, the price of silver, right? And especially, it lets you know when there's something coming. It does every single time, right? Because we see what's going on in Taiwan with the super chips and stuff like that. you know, Palantir, the price of gold is going to go up because of the need for these chips to power these AI facilities. You know what I'm saying? You know, and one last takeaway: if food, shelter, and clothing, the bare essential things that's needed to survive, is taken care of, what would you do with your time? And why aren't you doing it? All right. And with that, there is no justice without mercy and righteousness leading the way. And with that, we gone. Peace out, y'all. To the next one.